So now let's class number 10. So class number 10, we're talking about data model, which we have initiated. So what is data model? Data model is a very important for the system. So in the success factor system, we have a data models. We have altogether 7 data models were there. Out of the 7, 3 data models are deprecated, and now we are only having 4 data models, valid data models. So these data models are corporate data model, country specific corporate data model, succession data model, country specific succession data model. Now few customers are using workflow derivation data model as well, if that is a old project, oldest project. If it is a new project, all the customers are implementing workflow derivation data model as a business rules, and even event derivation data model as a business rules nowadays. And even it's been deprecated, no support from SAP for event derivation data model, or even the propagation data model. There is no support from SAP because SAP strictly migrated these data models from the system, and only workflow derivation data model still SAP is giving support because the universal upgrade is not happened. But sir, how many data models should I learn? These 4 data models are enough, right? Let's move on. Now, so which data model we are talking about? We are talking about corporate data model. So corporate data model, you can see the foundation objects. So in entire success factor employee central module, we will be storing master data. If you remember my first class, I have begun the session with this word called in employee in success factor employee central module, where you can see master data. Sir, what do you mean by master data? Master data means employee personal information, employee employment information, and organizational information. Employee personal information, employee employment information, and organizational information. Now I'm talking about this organizational information. So organizational information means what? In the corporate data, well, I know the further classes I have already explained you what is organizational information. Now I'm going further. Now, in the organizational information, where you can see the information called foundation objects. What are the foundation objects? Foundation objects where we have classified into 3 types: organization, pay related, and job related, and others. Sorry, 4 types. One is organizational, job related, and pay related, and others. So if I say job organizational related, where we have where is this? Yes, where we have legal entity, business unit, division, department, cost center, and including we have a location group, 0 zone. But what happened? SAP, they migrated these objects as a MDF objects. So now we are having the foundation objects, which are legacy foundation objects, location group, 0 zone. And coming to the pay component, coming to the pay related objects, where we have a pay component group, pay range, frequency. And others, we have event reason, workflows, dynamic roles. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay. Now let's say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Others, 4. But now we have only 3 in this XML. Now, so now we are learning this data model, which is corporate data model. Where is this? Yes, I have already given this introduction. Please check my previous videos, guys. If you are unable to recollect the information, I just given an overall view. Now, in the corporate data model, where we can see the foundation objects. Now, in the foundation objects, few objects has been taken as the MDF objects. This one, I'm just removing this one. Now, I'm slicing this corporate data model. As I said, in the market, the data models will tells you how to store and how to process the data. That's it in my previous classes. Now here in this corporate data model, we are going to explain and we're going to discuss about one programming language called XML. XML. XML means extensive markup language. Extensive markup language. X, E silent, X means extensive markup language. Actually, this is a programming language. XML means is a programming language. If anyone from computer science background, either is a BTech or a BSc computer science or BCA computer science or MSc computer science or MCA computer science, whomever you are, or MTech computer science, you already aware of this one. What is programming language? What is XML? Now, for you guys who are non-IT background, I want to tell you what is this XML. XML is a programming language. XML is a programming language, or I can say amplified language, or binary controller, or assembler. There are a lot many mediators will be there, or let's say I'm talking about assembler. So this assembler, what it will do is between the human, between the human and the device, it will create a path. The user is giving the data in his English language in the set of instructions where the phone is able to understand with the help of the assembler. Assembly language. Bits. This assembler, what it will do is it will convert the the programming, human understandable programming language into assembler. Assembler will convert into zeros and bytes, zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones, and zeros and ones, and the zeros ones will be understood by your phone. In the same way, in system as well, in any system, even it's a phone, even it's a computer or anything, okay, you will be giving the text in English language, and that text assembler will convert into a lower level language. So that lower level language, zeros and ones will be understood by the devices, either it is a phone or any electronic gadget or any gadget in the world which runs with the programming basis. Now, sir, what is this human programming language? A programming language is a higher level language, higher level, which was built on English only, English, which was written on English, which was written on English. Now, in the market, there are a lot many programming languages are there: C level, C++, Java, .NET, ASP.NET, VB Unix scripting, and Joomla, PHP, there are a lot many here. Sorry, I forgot JScript, JSON, XML, HTML. No, I'm using the word XML. XML is also a higher level extensive markup language. Yes. Now this XML we are learning in our class. Learning means what? Sir, do we require writing the code? No, 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 not at all required. Not at all required. What you required is you should understand the script. You should understand the script. That's it. I will show you how to understand the script. Now, all the data models, 4 data models are there: corporate data model, country specific corporate data model, succession data model, and country specific succession data model. These 4 data models will be on XML language only. Yes. Now, do we need to write any customizations on the XML? Sometimes, sometimes you have to write some customizations, but not a complete programming language, just option change. I'll tell you how to do it. If someone saying that you won't do anything on the programming language in XML, that's false. If someone is giving you training on this one, "Arey yaar, these are XMLs, okay, we won't do anything on XML." If someone is guiding you on as of now, that's a false. That's a false. In XML, we will do customizations. We will do customizations. Even now, we will do customization. So that is the reason SAP is giving a flexibility to move from XML to a complete UI screen. So that is the reason why a few foundation objects has been migrated into a new framework called MDF framework, metadata framework, or we call them as generic object. We call them as generic object, which is a XML free coding. It's not required your XML language. No, 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 not at all required. It's XML code free language, code free language. Easily we can do it on the instance itself. So that, so that the end user, the HR partners, HR Spock, not only them, but also you and me, we are success factor consultants, we can do the operations very easily in a smoother manner. All right. Yes. Now, sir, then why we are learning the XML again? Because we have a data models called corporate data model and country specific corporate data model where a few objects are still available on XML. So that is the reason why we are learning the CDM and CSF CDM. And we have one more data model called succession data model and CSF SDM, succession data model as well. These two data models are available on XML, but we can do changes on we can do changes on not only XML but also by using business BC UI screen, business configuration user interface screen on the system itself. Rather than touching this XML, we can do on another way as well. But coming to this corporate data model and country specific corporate data model, there is no option. You have to do it on XML itself. There is no corona, there is no jolly. Sir, no exception for everyone. Everyone has to do it on CDM and CSF. And my friends, I want to tell you one good news for you. CDM, corporate data model, and country specific corporate data model, these are one-time jobs. One-time jobs, which means you are configuring the a customer only once. That's it. Only once in your one project. And let's say if I'm implementing a SuccessFactors Employee Central project to one of the customer, one of the big giant in the market called ABC Private Limited or something else, just name it, a big MNC company, big industry, big MNC who is a big industry company. Okay, in this big industry, if you are implementing SuccessFactor, then how many times we'll work on corporate data model, country specific corporate data? Only one time, maybe on first iteration. That's it. That's it. Later on, very not even maybe 1%, maybe 0.5 percentage, we will touch these two data models. 0.5 or 1%, not more than that. But your life will be there on SDMN country specific succession data model. Your day never ends by touching these two data models. Never ends, my friends. Okay, but we have to give such a privilege and weightage for XML as well. So that's the reason we will learn the XML language as well. Now, corporate data model, country specific corporate data model. Now, so before discussing, now as I told you already in my previous class, now we are slicing the corporate data model. In the corporate data model, if I open the corporate data model, I can see lot many. I can see lot many objects will be there. So now I'm showing you how to run workshop as well. How to run workshop. How to run workshop. How to run workshop. How to gather requirements. I'm telling you, I already covered this session, but I haven't told you how to gather the requirements. But in today's session, I'll tell you. You know, first of all, what you need to do is you need to explain in the workshop to the customer. What you need to explain, where is my kickoff? Yes. This is the kickoff requirements gathering workshop agenda, right? Yes. So you'll be explaining to the project, right? All the things are explained. Now I'm talking about foundation objects. Project scope, everything gone. Project scope, everything we explained. Now we're talking about the timelines as well. Timelines also covered. Next. Now we're talking about this is also done. Yes, foundation customer foundation objects. So you will explain, you'll be, and I'll tell you what are these objects you will be learning, and you'll be explaining what is the foundation object, and you'll be telling that these are the objects are available in the system. Organization structure, we have a legal entity, business unit, division, department, cost center, location, location group, zero zone. Pay related, where we have a pay range, pay group, pay grade, pay group, pay component group, pay calendar, job classification, job function. That's it. We'll explain them. These are the basic foundation objects are there in the system. That's it. We won't tell them what is MDF object. It's not required for them. If the customer is other opponent is believe that if they are technically is okay, then we will tell them these are the objects which were there earlier. Now they've been migrated as MDF object, which means where you can control them on the screen. We'll give them this line. That's it. Just this line. That's it. Sir, how do we will do XML configuration? We won't tell them these all things. Just will them what is legal entity, what is business unit, what is different department, cost center, location, location group, what all are these? Just will give them one underline line statement. That's it. What is this meaning? That's it. And then and just we will give them an information. Then we'll explain them each and every object and how it look like in the system screen. And then immediately what we will do requirement workbook. Sir, if you are going to workshop, you have to download the workbook. You have to download the workbook, or your implementation partner will give you the standard workbook, or you are the decision maker in your company, or your solution architect in the company, where they will give you the workbook. How they will download? There is a portal called SAP portal, Partner Edge portal, partneredge.sap.com. This is the portal. In this portal, where you required P type S user ID. Sir, what is S user ID? I already told you. So now you required not customer side C type S user ID. No, no, no. You want P type S user ID, partner type as user ID. Once you have a partner type as user ID, only implementation partner can give it to you. He will give you for it. So once you have this partner type as user ID, then you can log into this page. In the search bar, type Employee Central. Then you will get this page. So there you can see the a foundation object workbook, EC employee data workbook, benefits workbook, transaction workbook, employee data workbook, position management workbook, people central hub. There are some documents out there. Now I'm talking about foundation data workbook. Click the one, download this workbook in the system. This is here, EC Foundation Object Workbook 1H2205. 1H release, which means recently happened, May 22, 2022, 05 May. So in May 2025, we have completed first release. I already told you in yesterday class what is release management. So earlier we have 4 releases. Now we are having only 2 releases. And even each and every releases, I told you what will be happen and what you need to do as well. I already told you and covered this one. Please check my previous class. Right. So let's move on now. I have downloaded the beautiful workbook. Now we won't download these all the workbooks in front of the customer, my friends. We will download all of them and we'll put them in a proper manner. Now I'm opening this workbook. After completion of this session, foundation objects, now we will ask the customer to fill this workbook after completion of the session. Okay. Or maybe they can do a try. Now first we will write them. Before you reach the customer, you will write the company name here. The company name is here. You will write them as ABC Private Limited. Okay, and company ID, every company will have ID. Now let's say I'm logging into my success factor screen, right there you can see here, company ID. You can see here company ID. So we'll write the company ID. Every company will have a company ID. I know, already told you how to get this company ID. These are access related. And kickoff date means what? Let's say if you're running the if you're running the workshop today, so kickoff call, just mention today is the date. So 20/07 and 2022. If people they cannot understand, then write the time as well. This is about the pattern as DD MM YY. Okay, and the go live date. So go live date is a big project. Make it some dates like 6 months later. We have other models as well. Write down that this is about somewhere 21st on maybe 11th of November 2022. These are the proposed dates. You know, sir, wait till I'll get this kickoff date, go live dates. You're explaining to customer, right? There we have a column. So in the column, the project manager already written this one. These all are things where it just populate this one. So this is the startup kickoff, workbook sign off, build and test, UAT, go and non-go. Whether you are going the project to the go live or not go live. Next, cutover activities, technical go live and data validation, business go live. So third is the business go live. Start date is 17th April, and which means today kickoff call, right? Today is the kickoff call, right? So 17th April means project got started, provisioning access, super admin creation, everything. And kickoff means what today? 7th of May. So 7th of May to 3rd July. We'll write these all things on this document. Okay. Now I'm talking about foundation object. Make sense, guys? If it is a make sense, please type as a MS in the chat bar. I'm checking all the things. If it is make sense, please type as MS. If you have any question, please write down in the parking lot. Now, sorry. Now, now I'm opening the object. Now, you already explained, sir. Now in the system, we need to explain what is foundation object, which you will explain to the customer. That's okay. Now, gather the requirements. How you will gather? So for this one, you should have some knowledge. If you want to explain to customer, you should know what do you mean by foundation object, right? Foundation objects are the one where you can see organizational information and job related information and pay related information, where you can see job related information. Those are has been migrated as MDF objects, which are nowhere with the legacy foundation objects. So now in the corporate data model, we have to learn altogether. There are 11 elements will be there. 11 elements. 11 elements will be there. You have to learn those 11 elements. Out of the 11 elements, a few are belongs to organization related, a few are belongs to a pay related, and a few are belongs to others. Now, sir, all are written in a beautiful manner. I'll show you. I have an Excel. In Excel, I have already put them in a proper order for you for your benefit purpose. Now, see here. This is the corporate data model. In the corporate data model, organization, pay and job structures. So in the corporate data model, right now we have organization wise location, location group, zero zone, frequency, pay grade, pay range, pay component group, and others, dynamic role, workflow configuration, event reason. That's it. So altogether, I just count it. 11 will be there. 1, 2, 3, and 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 count is 11. Okay, don't tell them 11 to interviewer. Okay, this is for your mind, this is for your calculations. And here, while I'm going to the payment related objects, where I can see frequency, pay grade, pay range, and pay component group. Because pay component, we have SAP HCM. There is an on-premise tool called SAP HR. In the on-premise tool, pay component, there we used to call as a wage type. Pay component group is called as wage type group. That's the reason I just give an understanding, because some customers will be there where will be required EC payroll integrations or EC payroll implementation or required HCM on-premise payroll integration support. So that's the reason some customer techie guides will be there. They will ask you this kind of questions. You require some a little bit correlation to HCM as well. You required. So that's the reason I have written this one. Now here we have organization, pay, job, and others. So here I can see organization wise, I'm having a location group, CO zone, frequency, pay grade, pay range, pay component group, dynamic role, workflow configuration, event reason. So these are the objects will be there in the corporate data model. Sir, how I can see them? How I can see them? You can download this data model from SAP portal. I have already told you there is a portal called SAP Launchpad. SAP Launchpad in yesterday class. So you just download it, then go to the software download center, then download it. Once you download the data model, where you can see them as a greenfield data models. Greenfield data models. Let me open it and I'll show you that. You can see somewhere Rajesh trainings, just like if you're able to identify it. Let's close it. It is easy for me. Mm, data models, data model. Yes. Once you download the data model, you can see the folder. It's a zipped format folder where you will find these four data models: corporate data model, country specific corporate data model, country specific succession data model, and succession data model. These four data models will be there. I already told you before stepping ahead to this session, please download Notepad++ or XML pad on your system. It's important. Even after you joining in the company, please ask your networking team that please install XML pad and Notepad++ on your company's system. It's important. Okay. Now right click here. I'm going to open this one, corporate data model, by using edit with Notepad++. I'm opening it. Today in my class, I'll discuss on Notepad++. Going further, I'll discuss with on you on XML pad. You should know both the areas, how to use them. You should know both the things, how to use them. Right? Yes. This is the data model. Succession data model. Sorry, this is the corporate data model. You can see the beautiful data model. This is written in English language. You can understand, see here, English language. You can see English corporate data model description and succession HRS data model. You can see English only, right? These are the language. This is the language XML dot easy understandable way. Yes, which means the higher level programming language. As I said, now is a human understandable language, human programming language. Now what you will do is you will upload into system your provisioning. In your provisioning backend, it will convert into machine understandable language format, and it will show you on your front end screen. That's it. Okay. Now for this one, we'll see it. Okay. Now let's see. Let's move on. Now let's go to the view and say unfold all. Now call this is one. And this is the XML data model. Let me zoom it. In this XML model, you can see here, this called angular brackets. Angular brackets. This is called less than, and this is called greater than. Sir, do I need to write it? No. There won't be any day where you will write these things manually. No, no. You will write some other things, not this one. Okay. So this is the default statement. This is the initiation for XML language. Now, what is this one? This is the initiation step, which means is the initiation step XML version 1.0. Version 1.0 means what? So we'll maintain the versions 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Let's say first time you are doing changes, it's 1.4. Second time you are doing changes, then we'll make it this one is 1.1. Second time you are doing changes, 1.2. Third time, 3. Fourth time, likewise, we'll maintain the versions. Okay, now encoding format. What is this encoding? Encoding is a conversion, is an encryption format. UTF-8. UTF-8 means it's a universal file encoding format. Encoding can be done with 8 bits, 16 bytes, sorry, 8 bytes, 16 bytes, 8, 16, 32, and then in the next multiply by 16. You can do a calculation like this. This is the one format. It is an understandable format, UTF-8. In entire success factor, you have to follow this UTF-8 only. Don't follow by chance UTF-16 or UTF-64 or UTF-128. Don't follow this format. Always follow UTF-8 only. Okay, this is clear. Next, document type. So doc type is a corporate data model public. Public means what? Anyone can see it. There is no restriction. Anyone can see it. This is a data model. This is an programming language for public classifiers. We call them as access modifier, public, private. This kind of class modifiers will be there. Now, which means public means anyone can see it. Doc type. Doc type is a corporate data model. Okay. So doc type, actually, in data model in XML programming language, we'll be having two things. One is XSD schema and doc type. Both are two different formats. XSD is the latest one, but doc type is the old one. We are following the old one, doc type. None of our business, none of our success factor business. Okay, just for your understanding. Now, the moment when I say plus button, you can see all are green colors, green. You know, I made here two slash. Now what happened? Entire text become as a green color, which means if the text become green color, which is unreadable for the programming language, unreadable, it will be called as comments. Now here in the comments, it has been written. This is starting angular bracket and auxiliary mark and corporate data model H1 release 2021. So the data model what I am showing you is downloaded on H1 release 2021 and build B2105 updated February 2023 2021 and no changes for blah 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 and note for Q for 2015 blah. See here, job code, go to legal entity, generic object, job function, generic object, pay group, generic function, pay calendar, job function, generic object. And in the corporate data model, first data model to be configured for employee central. The following objects are identified in this data model. What are the objects? Organization wise, pay wise, and others. In the organization wise, you can see location group, geo zone, location, and pay wise, pay range, pay grade, pay component group, frequency, and the workflow and dynamic role and event reason. So these are altogether how many? 11 objects will be configured on this corporate data model. So which are green color means these are comments, not be followed in the programming language, just a comment, reading purpose. Now going further, you can see blue color. Now from this line onwards, execution step will start. Click this one plus button. The moment when I click this corporate data model, the moment when I click the corporate data model, click this one, unfold it. I'm unfolding is one by one. Now see here, corporate data model and go down, last. You can see here again corporate data model. Now it is red color, right? You can see here this is also red color. And I'll show you one more thing. This is red color, right? You can see red color. What do you mean, sir? What do you mean? Let me tell you. Let me take a new notebook. I'm trying to explain you the programming language. In XML language, we have roots. Under the roots, we will be having elements. The root sometimes also called as element. This is a programming language, but it just ignore. Okay. Now I'll tell you. Now what happened? Every root, if starting is there, then definitely there should be ending, which means you can see here in my system, corporate data model is started here, where first place. This is called open tag. This is called open tag. Corporate data model is open tag. So this tag should be closed by following this format. This is the beginning of the root. This is ending of the root. This is the beginning of the root. This is the ending of the root. If you are beginning any of the element or if you are beginning any of the root, then definitely you have to close that root. If you're not closing this root, which means the system is you have written a bug, you have a programming error. Now, this one called as open tag. This one called as a closing tag. Open tag and closing tag. open tag and closing tag, open tag and closing tag, open tag and closing tag. So some people will say, sir, this is less than, this is greater than, this is less than, this is greater than. It's okay, true Baba. These are called angular brackets. In between them, you can see many objects, many tables you can see, many fields you can see. Now listen. So here I'm writing one object. So in the system here, I'm having one object. Go down. The object name is HRIS element ID. Let's make it up. Sir, what do you mean by HRIS? HIRS means, I'll tell you. HRIS means Human Resource Information System. And element is element. HRIS element. This is the open tag. And this should be closing tag. This is the beginning of the element. This is the ending of the element. Sir, if it is a beginning is there, definitely there should be a closing with a backslash. Now you want to say it, just come down here. Now HRS element location group started. Now plus button, then go further. See here. Red mark, and you can see red mark here, blinking red mark. Every program in the system, in the XML, there will be an open tag, there will be a closing tag, which means from this place to this place, all are belongs to only one model. That's it. In middle, you can see a few more objects are there. HRS element. HRS element ID is called location group and HRS. This is the starting tag, open tag. This is the closing tag. Now, okay, let's move on. So now further again, in the data model, when I'm slicing this corporate data model, I'm able to see a lot. Yes, let me tell you. So this one here called HRIS element ID is equal to location group. See here, there is no space here, and you can see here double quoted inverted commas, double quoted inverted commas. This is the angular bracket, and here I can see angular bracket. Sir, who has written it? SAP has written it, not me and you. Do I need to write anything here? No, nothing. SAP has written, just you need to understand it. Now, see here. Now, when I click this HRS element, this HRS element location group, and there I can see here ID, I can see here ID, and going down, I can see here field. I can see here ID, HRS element ID, and HRS element field. Which means what? Which means what? We should understand, we should have understanding in the data model, in the corporate data model, we have HRIS element and we have HRIS field. HRIS element and HRIS field. Sir, we have two things, HRS element and HRS field. If you are from database background, HRIS element is nothing but table in the database. HRIS field is nothing but columns in the table. అర్థం కాలేదు సార్ నా సార్ నా సమజ్ unpad में unpad gawara, just forget about, just listen. Now the moment when I open the system, now here I'll go to one command, organization pay and job structure. There you can see here location group. The moment when I see the location group, see here, I can see here location group. This is called HRIS element. And the below you can see code name, description, status. So these four are called HRIS fields. Is it clear? If it is clear, please type it in the chat box as clear. If it is clear, please type in the chat box clear. Yeah, good, good, good. Let's proceed. Now, so this is HRIS element and these are HRIS fields. Now, in the success factor employee central module, in the corporate data model, where you can see in the corporate data model, HRIS elements and HRIS fields. So these HRIS elements and HRIS fields will be there on every individual object. Sir, every individual object means what? In the system, in the corporate data model, you can see location foundation object, location group foundation object, geozone foundation object, frequency foundation object, pay grade foundation object, pay range foundation object, pay component foundation object, pay component group foundation object. Yes, these all are where you can see HRIS element and HRIS fields. Okay, if you want to see them on the system, now I'll go to the system. This is for location group, right? Now I'll check for a zero zone. In the zero zone, see here, this is the HRS element and these are the HRS fields. Now again, if I'm checking for one more location, so this is an HRS element, this is HRS fields. Now let's go for pay grade, HRS element and HRS fields. Understood? Yeah. Now, sir, now what else? What else? What else? What else are there? There are a lot many. Now just we begin. I believe I'll take 15 more minutes. Okay. I believe it's okay for everyone because I don't want to stop it in mid of the things. So that I'll complete one level today and I'll complete further. Okay, tomorrow. Now I'll make it this session. The corporate data model we will discuss today and tomorrow. If time allows, even the next day as well we will discuss. And corporate country specific corporate data model, one day is enough. Succession data model and country specific succession data model, maybe more than a week. Entire until completion of our classes, we'll discuss about succession data model and country specific succession data model. But corporate data model and country specific corporate data model, already we started yesterday and even day before yesterday we started discussion. It's been now, this is my, maybe this is my fourth day, and tomorrow and day after day as well will be there. No one will teach you these many days in corporate data. If you are going to training by SAP will tell you corporate data model in just minutes, maybe in half an hour, not more than that, maybe 15 minutes. Okay, that's the difference. Try to understand. And I want to give you should know, you have to become a good subject matter expert skills and how to run the workshop. You should be in a position, you should be run in the workshop, you should be in a position where your entire success factor team should be depend upon you. Okay, right. Now listen. This is the HRS element, this is the HRS field. Now above I'm going on again. Sir, in the corporate data model, how many objects are there? Now you can see here, unfold it again. Right click here and say unfold all. Now let's say fold all. Now, when I click the 43, first line, until 38,929 lines are there. Now click the plus button. The moment when I open the corporate data model, you can see HRIS element location group, zero zone location. Now let's talk about location group. Now, the moment when I unfold it, there I can see ID, ID, HRIS element ID. This is called technical ID. This is called technical ID. Let me write down this one. Which means never edit it or change it. Never edit it, never change it. If you are changing this technical ID, even if you are giving the text like this, Sir, location group only. I'll make this one as capital L. Gone. Your system gone. Your system won't work. Make sure don't change it. Technical aid. Okay. Now let's say going further. Now in the workshop, what you need to run, you have to open the your requirements gathering workbook. Go to location group. Now I'm running the workshop with the customer. Now, so I'll explain them. Sir, what is this workbook? I'll give a just bit of it. So this is the workbook is used for to take the requirements gathering. I already told you in my previous class in the beginning of the session somewhere that in this system, if you want to become a success factor consultant or employee central consultant, exclusively employee central consultant, if you want to work on a project, if it's an implementation project, then you require certain documents. So without those documents, you cannot complete your implementation part. Those are foundation workbook, employee data workbook, transaction workbook, position workbook, and time off workbook. This is optional module. Now in the transaction workbook, again, you can see RPP workbook, workflow workbook, reports workbook, event reason, translations, business unit, business rules, translations as well, where you can see separate spreadsheets for it, or maybe individual Excel files. Now I'm talking about this foundation workbook. Now let's say I told you already every project, if you want to implement, there is a strategy to implement it. Even if you're a mechanical engineer, if you want to build a product, if you want to build one design, one small diagram in the 3D diagram or CAD diagram, whatever it is, it required a process that's called software development life cycle or product development life cycle. We have a SDLC model. We should have a SDLC model or nothing but a project model. So now there are a lot many models out there in the system in the nowadays in the market trend. Earlier we used to follow a model called waterfall model. Next we have a iterative model. If you're from computer science, definitely you already completed these all things. Iterative approach, iterative model. Next, spiral model, fish model, pet model. Yes, guys, these are SDLC model, software project management, SPM. Yes. Waterfall model, fish model, pet model, iterative model, spiral model, agile model, agile. Now people are talking about methodology, agile Kanban. Okay, it's okay, same. Now SAP as well, to implement success factor, they have a model called SAP BizExpert. It's a copied one actually. It was copied from existing these models only. The BizExpert methodology is follows iterative altogether similarly with agile model. So in the BizEx model, nowadays it's been enhanced. Now people are calling BizExpert method as SAP Activate methodology. SAP Activate methodology. In this methodology, we will implement success factor implementation to the customer in a iterative basis. Which means, let's say I have a work of a customer. Let's say I have to implement 30 countries. 30 countries. I have to implement employee central project for 30 countries. Now what I'll do is I won't implement 30 countries at one shot. No. What I'll split the 30 countries. First I'll implement for one country or at least 2 countries or 5 countries. Okay, I'll do it. 5 countries, it's okay. Minimum we can do it. First iteration. This is called first iteration. Iteration 1. And the second iteration, and I'll do it for a remaining country. Let's say 5 more countries. And the third iteration, I'll do it for our remaining countries. Third iteration, 5 countries. Iteration number 4, 5 countries. Now altogether, how many? 5, 5, 5, 5. Now next time, what I'll make it 10 countries. Yes, of course. Yeah, even this also possible. 5, 5, 10, 10, 10. Sir, is it possible? At one shot, we can implement 10 countries. Yes, if you already implemented base one iteration, after later on, your work will be almost very simple. Only few fields you need to design. That's it. Under the succession data model. That's it. Country specific succession data model. That's it. Rest of all are same. Only the first iteration, it will take lot much time. It will take lot much time because we need to build all the employee central core related things like provisioning accounts, super admin accounts, configuring the data models, business rules, workflows, RBP permissions, and event reasons and translations, everything. That's the reason first iteration will get delayed. Now, while after implementing the first iteration, if there is any change, those changes will be done in iteration 2. Along with that, the new changes of iteration 2, new work of iteration 1, previous iteration 1 change. If customer changes some of the things, he has to change it. So those changes plus a new countries will be taken into further. Now, which means you can see my diagram. So here you can see iteration 2, iteration 3. You can see in my workbook, iteration 2, iteration 3, and you can write down iteration 1 as well. Okay. Now let's say if I'm implementing iteration 1. First I'm implementing. Now what I'll do is I'll talk to customer. If you're making changes, make sure uh, okay. Now this is called location group. Is what is this location group? We'll explain them. A location group is the one is used to identify the multiple locations as one single group. Okay. Now, if you want a more detail, yes, you can see here. SAP already given the information here. Location groups are primarily used for reporting purposes and can be used to group the multiple locations. For examples, location group Western Europe Western Europe contains locations like Munich, London, Paris, etc. That's it. We'll explain them. After doing the configuration of the system, where you can see location group in the screen, there's the sales demo screen. Customer, if while you're explaining this requirement document to the customer, he will ask you, where do I can see in my success factor screen? Now then immediately you can open your sales demo. In the sales demo, you can open the screen and then go to manage organization pay and job structure. Then in the search bar, you can go and open the location group. There you can see this item. Now we will ask them. Now, please tell me what all our fields are required for us for our project. We will ask this question now, and also we will tell them if you are making these changes to be done on the first iteration, please mark it here X. Some mark. I want this change. I want this change. I want this change. I want this change. If it is there is no X, which means I won't touch it. We'll tell them very clearly to the customer. There is no X. I won't touch it. This is a basic thing. The first point and second thing. And we will tell them customer that you can see white color. In the white color, don't touch anything. Don't edit it. Don't change it. Don't do anything. Only the colored label where you can do changes. Only you can do changes. Only color label. Not on the white part. 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 Now we give them what is location group. Location group is generally used for reporting purposes and can be used for grouping the multiple locations together. Example, let's say if I said Hyderabad for your understanding, if I said Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, if it's a retail company in Hyderabad, Hyderabad is one of the location group, location hub actually. In Hyderabad, where I have a multiple locations, like in Hyderabad, I have a Amirpet, I have a Gachibowli, I have a Begumpet, I have a Kukutpalli. So these are the locations, multiple locations. Let's say if I take in India as a location group, in India I have a multiple locations. Delhi location group, Hyderabad location group, sorry location, Bangalore is a location likewise. Okay, in the same way here as well, Western Europe countries are becoming as a one group. Munich, which is belongs to Western Europe, Germany, Western part of Germany, Munich, London, same, Western, Western only, right? London, Scotland, Western. So Paris, France, these are Western countries. Okay, now all together they're making us one location. We'll explain them customer if required. We'll give them detailed analysis. Most of the HR people, they have understanding about this one. They won't make any question of this one. Okay, now what we want is, if you want to build this screen, please let us know what are the fields are important, what are the fields are not required, and what do you want to change in this diagram, in this field. If you want location group as a location group, I'll make it as a location group, or else if you want to change this location group, please let us know, we will change it. Now the customer will tell you location group is okay, that seems good, and we will tell them do it after completion of the workshop. Yeah, or else some people will say we'll do it just one trial. So if you don't want location group, if you don't want location group like this, if you want location group here, you can see the heading HRS element. You don't want to see the location group, you want to see something else. I want here as my location group, or ABC company name, ABC location group. Let's say this ABC is a company called Tata location group mentioned. Clear? I want this. Customer is asking a customization, which you need to do it. Requirements gathering will do it. Now, in the location code, what is the code? Please read it. Tell them, we'll ask them, please read it. A location code is something that a code uniquely identifies the location group. Location group can be identified in unique manner, so we require unique group. So we'll ask them. So this is external system field. This is a database field. And SF label, this is success factor label. I'll tell you what is this. Type. Type is data type. Data type is a string data type, or data type, or cust decimal data type, or what else. I'll tell you a few more data types. Tomorrow I'll tell you. We are lagging with the time, right? Now type space. I mean length. How much space you required, and required are mandatory. No, let me tell you. Required or enabled means what? Required means if you want this field to be printed on the system screen or not. So that's the reason you have to give us yes. But it is in white color, you cannot change to no, because white colors cannot be edited. You can't change it. Only color labels you can change it. Now, customer label. Customer label means what? So external code. My customer said, I don't want external code. I want location group code. You want it. And you can see here mandatory. Mandatory means what? Mandatory means red mark is required. Red mark. You can see here red mark, which means if you're not giving the data, system won't allow you to save it. See here, I'm trying to save it. System will show one thing. Pay grade is required. Required, which means mandatory field. You have to require this field. Yes, that's it. If you want to change it, you cannot change the external code because it's a mandatory thing. Next, name. I don't want name here. Customer decided he want as a location group name. Sir, people will be in such a customized pattern. For your example, I'm giving you this example. But generally, most of the customer, they won't do any customizations on location group. Ideally, no one will do it. Okay. But your learning purpose, I'm showing one example. Next. This is not a mandatory field. I don't want. Make it as a no. Okay. Sir, what about these all things? Just ignore for today's session. Don't do it. Okay. Now, description. I want location description. Even the capital and lowercase matters. Description. Status. Write down this one as a location status. Guys, I'm taking today extra time. I'm really sorry for it. I know it's everyone having their own office, but kindly support me today. I cannot stop you in mid of the session. Please. I hope everyone can understand me. Thank you so much. And the start date. Start date is a functionality. So if you want change, you can change it, but it is in white color, which means you cannot edit it. Just leave it. Okay. Now what I want. Now see here. This is the requirement workbook which I have gathered. Now, what I will do is tomorrow in my class, I know it's late, it's okay, I accept it. So tomorrow in my class, I will do these changes in the data model. I will do these changes in the data model. So I should explain you what is this technical ID, what is this label, what is this languages, what is translations, and and what are the certification question will come on this language translation, and how to change the language translation in the system, how to see it, and also how I can enable the language packs in the provisioning. I'll show you tomorrow. I'll show you one by one stitched order, and I'll show you the changes as well tomorrow, how to upload this data model into the system, and we will continue our session tomorrow on this one. Make sense? Is it clear? I can continue my session, but it's almost 10:45. Everyone have office. I respect your office time, so please have it. I believe any question. If you don't have any question, I want to park here. Data model, yes, I'll show you the way how to download it. Don't unmute yourself. If you have any question, please type in the chat bar. Yes, I'll share the documents. Data models you can't download by your own because those are not available. You need to download from software download center. You can't download it. But I'll show you the way in the system where we can see it and we'll make it. Yeah. So that's it for then. That's would like to take a sign off for today, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. sharp. Thank you so much. Can you share the workbooks? Yes, I'll share the workbooks. Of course, it's my job, my responsibility. I'll share the workbook. All right. Yeah. Chalo then. Take care and bye bye, guys.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thanks, guys.